one of the things that I saw that came out right from the jump is that, Dr. Scott Jensen wants to ban abortion, no exceptions. And I knew that wasn't the case, right? Because the framing is everyone has a different perspective about where, life begins and things like that. But the framing is that you want to control women.
But when I went into the legislature in 2016, I was elected. I always thought that where legislators make one of their biggest mistakes is when they legislate in conflict with human nature. And I think human nature is we all want to be, we're wired to be autonomous, independent. We don't want anyone else controlling us. That isn't to say that we can't be good team players and we'll help pull the rope in the same direction and all that. But I think human nature is that we want to be able to dream our dreams and go pursue our dreams and be independent. So I do not want to control women. But I think the context really does matter. And so I think a lot of my words have been twisted, not just taking 7 words out of a 15-minute speech. That would be taking it out of context, because I know that many of the conversations where I've been quoted, I thought we were talking about viable pregnancies. Mm-hmm. And I thought that pretty typically means somewhere past 24 weeks. And I did make comments that I think something like 2/3 of Minnesotans have indicated that they would not want elective abortions in the 3rd trimester. Mm-hmm. I was also quoted as saying, I don't provide exceptions for rape and incest. Well, I never thought we needed to. I always thought that the priority was the mom. I mean, clearly, as a family doctor, I've had the privilege of taking care of many, many pregnant women and delivering 500 children during the course of my career. And what a joy that's been for me. But never for a moment did I ever think that abortion could be completely banned. If someone has a tubal pregnancy, that's basically incompatible with an emerging newborn life. And if you don't provide an abortion in that procedure, you will lose the life of the mom. So I've always thought that the mom's life was paramount, and that if a pregnancy were endangering her physical or mental health, that's all that needed to be said at that point in time. It's not a question for the legal process. It's a personal, private discussion and decision between the patient and her doctor. So I realized that I probably had been thinking more as a doctor and as someone who takes care of patients and has delivered babies. But in the political world, there are certain things you're supposed to articulate or say, and rape and incest were 2 of them. So I did clarify, and I actually went further than that and said, well, it's not just rape and incest. It would be a variety of healthcare problems, to be sure. Again, physical or mental health problems related to the pregnancy, sickle cell anemia, renal failure, being on chemotherapy during the pregnancy. There's so many things that I never thought that it would be wise to try to articulate an extensive list. And so to me, I think the best approach there is to always deal with the mom. I think we need to pivot. Yeah. I think as a pro-life person, I want to be more than simply against something. I want to be for something. Yeah. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for the pro-life movement to say, let's go out there and let's really stand side by side with women. Why don't we do what a lot of countries in Europe do and have birth control pills over the counter? Let's not mandate that in order for a woman to get another year's worth of birth control prescription, they have to go in and spend $300 or $400 on a physical and a pap smear, which, if you look at the medical literature, provides very little benefit for the woman. And that's why in Europe, birth control pills are over the counter. We should put a ceiling cap on the price, maybe $10 a month. But the idea that a woman has to go out there and try to scrape together $90 in order to get their monthly pack or so whatever they have to pay, I don't think that's fair. And I think that this should be a societal responsibility in terms of identifying how we want to do family planning, how we want to make certain that if at all possible, we can anticipate pregnancies and welcome them or pursue them. And I would love to have, if a person wants to go the way of adoption, streamline adoption and have a $2,500 tax credit for adoption. I think we need to do more for women in a real way. I don't know why we wouldn't have the morning after pill in every medicine cabinet. It stops fertilization. It's not abortion. And it's already over the counter. Yeah. So I think we can do a lot more than what we've been doing. And I think this is an opportunity for us to recognize it's not on the ballot in November, but that doesn't mean the pro-life movement can't really stand up and say, we're going to stand side by side with women.